I'm good, Laurie. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm
Good,
so
good.
happy that you're able to join us today.
Yeah, me too.
Um, this is Karen Hanson. She is with Home Instead Senior Care, and I've got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Um, okay, first one is tell us a little bit about yourself and what your responsibilities are there at Home
Sure,
Instead.
sure. So, I have been with Home Instead 18 years, been in home care 34 years.
No way,
Um,
you're not that old.
oh yes. And at Home Instead, what my role is that I meet with families when they're thinking about signing up for services, and just share with them what we can offer and make sure we're a good fit for their needs. And I also do all our marketing out in the community.
Oh, you've got a big job. I think when we talked before, I don't know if you call it a caseload
Mhm.
or you had named it something that you actually go out and you have your clients of your own that you meet with.
Ah, that is correct. I can't believe I didn't say that. Yeah, I
That's
do.
okay. I even
I
listened.
Um, yes, I'm a care manager as well. So once those clients get signed up for services, then I follow them to make sure that we're providing what they need and, handle any situations that may come up and need a little additional TLC. And I carry a caseload of about 60 myself. We have probably about 115 clients at this time. So yeah.
Wow. What are some of the challenges that you're facing, maybe even in the industry these days, if any?
Yeah, yeah. No, like everybody, the staffing is always a balancing act, and that's pretty much
Oh,
in
I
most
bet.
industries these days. Um, but especially with like home care because it's all different hours, so it's kind of all over the board. So you can kind of, people are working different hours, and so there needs to be some flexibility with them as a caregiver.
Okay.
And then just, it's always to find those clients and then be able to provide what those clients want. We cover 11 counties, so some of them are pretty rural. So that can make things
Mhm.
challenging as well. But we do try to hire individuals in all the different areas that we provide service so that we have, a pool of people to pick from.
One of the questions I have is, who is your client base? Who
Mhm.
typically contacts you and who do you go out to visit?
Yes, yes. So our client base typically is the senior population. And what we do is we're typically either contacted by the senior themselves or a family member. We're a lot of times that first step for individuals starting on that path of needing a little extra help. And we can assist them with, bathing, dressing, light housekeeping, transportation, meal preparation, just array of things that they need. There's not a lot we can't do. And typically a lot of our clientele base has maybe some form of a cognitive loss, not
Mhm.
always, but there is a lot of people that do. And so we just help to maintain them, to keep them safe at home and keep them as comfortable as we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, my mom has Alzheimer's and I lived with her
Mm,
for a
mm,
couple of years before she
hmm.
went into memory
Yeah.
care. And I wish we knew about your company at the time. I certainly wish. And I was even with her during COVID, so I worked
Oh,
from
yes.
home.
Yes.
So one of the other questions I have is, what is the difference between a home care company and a home health care
Yep.
as far as what services they provide?
Sure. Yeah. So home care company would be what Home Instead is. And so that's just supporting someone providing personal cares, homemaking services, companionship, all those day-to-day activities. A home health care agency it's a licensed medical professionals for which you need to have a prescription to receive their services. So,
Oh,
and ours you do not have to have a doctor's order for.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there's like
Um,
therapy and skilled nursing and that kind of thing. So
right.
yeah. Yep.
Is are the services for both of you, both types of companies, is that all private pay?
No, no. So, the typically Medicare covers the home health agencies or some form of insurance. A lot of times, because they're coming home usually from hospital or nursing home and they're needing a little extra help with maybe therapy and learning how to get around, even though they've lived in their house their whole life, but they just need to learn now with their new, with the way they are currently, how to adapt into
Hmm.
that environment again. So,
Okay.
so that typically is covered by Medicare. Ours is strictly private pay, but also long-term care insurance typically covers
Oh,
our
that'll
service as
kick
well.
in.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, does elderly waiver, does that come into play at all with either one of the services?
So it just depends if the company is accepting it. Like we used to accept elderly waiver, but we don't anymore. But it is still, some of those services that actually, we both provide. But it's hard to find an agency sometimes that takes that as payment because
Oh,
of the reimbursement, unfortunately.
can you briefly describe what elderly waiver is?
So it is
I
an
know
in,
it's hard to describe. That's
well,
why I threw it on you.
it is an individual that maybe has their assets aren't enough for them to be able, there's a certain dollar amount and certain assets you can have, that where the county will pay for your services for you, the Elderly Waverly program. So, yeah, when my mom was on services, she was on the elderly waiver, and
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, yeah. So, sometimes you got to pay us a little bit of it too, a little bit of that, but
Okay.
just depends upon the individual.
Okay. Is there a minimum amount of hours that somebody would be able, that they would, that's required per week?
Sure.
They're due.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so we at our agency, we try to do the 12 hours a week, because
Mm-hmm.
we just see that that's what's most beneficial nationally for individuals. And but we don't want that to be the deciding factor for somebody. I mean, if it
Right.
truly, really, they don't need 12 hours a week, we can talk about
Okay.
that and see if we can kind of come to a compromise. But we do try to push for the 12 hours a week because we see that it's very beneficial for individuals.
Okay. I know something, a question that a lot of people will be interested in hearing the answer to. I know I was. What would be a price range? I mean, do you
Yeah,
bill by hour?
yeah.
How does that work?
So we do bill by the hour. We have a initial, when you sign up for services, we have a fee, $200 to get services up and going and get everything in place. And then it can be anywhere from our $42 an hour up to $45 an hour.
Okay. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Um, I think those are the only questions I have for you. Is there something that I might have missed that you would like to share with us?
I don't think so. I think we kind of cover. We are a 24/7 agency. So, we can do
Oh, that's
overnight.
great.
Yeah, we can do overnight cares. We do a lot of positions where we go and do like a sleepover where we're there, and able to be woken up 2 to 3 times a night to be able to assist them. So that's a commonly used thing as well. But yeah, I think that's important to know that we're here 24/7. So anything that individuals would need. We would love to be able to meet with you. For me to come out and meet with you, there is no charge. It's a free service. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful, and I know a lot of people will gain a lot of knowledge from this.
yeah, wonderful.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.